Oh, hey, it's me again, and boy am I tired. I worked all day, and then the newest S-1 dropped, and then I had to go run out and do chores because I had to come back and film this video and edit it before I went to bed, but I'm pretty tired. I've been working like non-stop since yesterday. No rest for bird, lady. So let me get a beer. It's nice and cold. I'm hot. I was outside running around. It's hot today. It's Lone Star beer because I need a drink. Not that anything really bad has happened. It's just another S-1 came out. Notice the lack of dates on this S-1. That means we're still waiting for SEC approval. The amendments in this were pretty short. There's only a few amendments in this, and I'll go over some of the key amendments here. First, let me point out the fact that the short squeeze warning still remains on the newest S-1, version 3. The short squeeze warning is still there and hasn't been changed. Next up, this can be considered a FUD tactic. It reads, however, we are not currently engaged in any negotiations, discussions with third parties in respects to any strategic options. A lot of people are going to take this as there is no sale, there is no buyer. Let's stop right there for a minute. And remember what I've told you in the past. Now, this could be really considered as a FUD tactic to help drive down the price of MMTLP, the current price action. However, let me reiterate that I've said in previous videos that any sort of letter of engagement or any sort of letter of interest can be considered a definitive agreement within Texas. Meta can't have any of that tied to their books. Hence, we're waiting for the spin out. Of course, right now in the books, you're not going to have anything definitive, hence you can put in that statement. That doesn't mean that there's a potential buyer waiting for this spin out to happen before they make a definitive agreement. I'll point out the fact that there was a recent buzz about an oil and gas sale where they were considering acquiring assets, but nothing was definitive. And this was in Texas. Nothing was definitive because any letter of intent or letter of interest means you're in a definitive negotiation now. In Texas, you can buy rights to oil and gas on a napkin as long as both parties sign the napkin and you go to the abstract company. You can also buy a house that way too. You can buy property that way. It's very easy to buy and sell property in Texas. By property, I mean real estate property, or it can be oil and gas, mineral rights. Some sort of property rights in Texas, it's pretty easy to do that. As a result, a lot of different things can be considered definitive agreements. That's why I think this statement is there. Again, this is going to be a FUD tactic that you'll see used. Like, if you know how these things work and the procedure and the process that needs to occur, you can sort of protect yourself against this irrational emotions. Now, I know emotions are pretty high right now because people are coming to me with lots of questions and why is this? Why is that? But I'm here for you and I'm making this video to show you. Other points of interest noted that there's the subpoena on there about Meta materials in regards to the merger that was sent September 2021. Some groups will have you lead it to believe this was due to MMTLP trading. However, MMTLP did not begin to trade until a couple weeks after this subpoena had come out. This was in September, and the MMTLP started the first week of October. Well, as the CFO of NextBridge, I guess, negotiated, he wanted 30% options instead of 1% options. Again, these are options. Note, not really dilutive. It's of current outstanding shares. They're not issuing new shares. There's a difference between options and warrants. Warrants is they will issue you shares. Options are you're buying current shares at this price. That's what an option is. Uncle Smokey's very good at explaining options, so if you have questions about options, you go talk to him. The changes in this are very minor. If you compare the Second Amendment document to the Third Amendment document, you can see that there's only a couple of things. These were the big ones. Also, if you look at these well numbers, instead of a decimal point, it rounded to the whole number. It did that whole IRS thing of round to whole numbers. Back in the early days, IRS wanted you to put in decimals, and now they're like, whole numbers, please, whole numbers, please. We need easier math. Hence, things get rounded up, as you can see. And those are the main changes in the S-1. Now, your next question is going to be, Bird Lady, when's this going to be approved, or when are we going to see something? To this, I don't really know, and I can't really say for sure, but I will tell you that notice how, as time's progressed, each resubmittal of an S-1 has gone down in time significantly. You know, this one was 2 weeks, pretty much just 2 weeks past the last one. As far as price action for MMTLP, a lot of people are expecting a big sell-off on Monday, of course. They're going to use a lot of FUD tactics saying that there is no buyer. Again, MMTLP can get pretty volatile in limited volume. It only takes a little bit of volume to push this up or down pretty high. Lots of people could be trying to play that game where they're selling now and buying back in low. If you have to wait an hour to 2 hours for your buy orders to fill, they might not get filled. So you can make a choice if you just want to hold what you have and wait and say, yes, it is frustrating, and it's okay to be frustrated. Know this. It's okay to be frustrated. Like I tell other people, to say you can't be emotional in the stock market. That's going to make people angry, and that doesn't solve any problems. To tell a person not to be emotional is to tell them to not be a human. Well, don't be human. Duh. It's easy as that. Don't be human. By the way, that was sarcasm. Yeah, it's like saying, look, don't be human. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be frustrated. It's okay to be fed up. You can either choose to walk away and say, I'm done, or you can hold out for a bit longer. You know, it's a heck of a story, and it certainly is worth fighting for, in my opinion. So now you have a choice. You have a choice where you hold, and you don't let short sellers have any of your shares. Or you sell and try to play this game, and then shorts get your shares. And of course, if this goes up unlimited volume, then you're subject to chase. So just know this, it could be a tactic where short sellers really want your shares, and they will play on any type of emotion or a little bit of news. They'll really spin doctor it to try and get you to sell, because that's their primary mission objective right now, is trying to acquire your shares. And do you want to give up that easy? I still wholeheartedly believe that there is a buyer in the wings sitting there. Even though that negotiations aren't officially underway, of course they can't be extended. It's a definitive agreement in Texas. Hence, we have to wait for the spin out. I've been talking about that for quite some time now. So if you're new here, that's the process of things. Spin out, then definitive agreement can be announced. But that's where we are right now. I'm very excited about MMTLP, especially for the fact that the short squeeze warning had not been amended. That is still there. Okay, guys, that's it for today. A bit of a, we gotta wait, more on the weekend. But I'm not sure how long we'll have to wait for this. There was only a few lines that got changed, really. I will see you soon. Goodbye.